The internet just witnessed something so wild. It made Logan Paul's WWE stunts look like toddler gymnastics. Picture this: Jake, problem child Paul, the YouTuber turned fighter turned meme generator, spotted sparring with Shakur Stevenson. Yes, the same Shakur who moves like a ghost in the ring and hits like he's allergic to missing. And guess what? It's all happening right before Jake's rumored face-off with the knockout monster himself, Gervonta "Tank" Davis. This isn't just training. This is chaos in motion. The clip that leaked online has fans losing their collective minds. Some are screaming, publicity stunt. Others swear Jake's secretly plotting a boxing revolution. Either way, this little training session might have just lit the match under the biggest fight circus since Mayweather decided to punch YouTubers for fun. If you thought Jake Paul couldn't shock you anymore, oh, buckle up. Because what went down in that ring wasn't just sweat and jabs. It was ego versus legacy, clout versus craft, and a whole lot of don't blink or you'll miss the drama energy. Grab your popcorn, because this story's got more twists than a Kardashian marriage timeline. Welcome to the Punch Press, where every punch comes with a plot twist. When the clip first hit the internet, it looked like a regular day at the gym. A few trainers milling around, gloves being taped, the usual pre-sparring chatter echoing through the room. But then someone zoomed in, and there he was. Jake Paul, sweat gleaming, jaw locked, bouncing on his feet like he was born to prove a point. Opposite him, Shakur Stevenson, one of the slickest defensive geniuses in modern boxing. Two worlds colliding, YouTube clout versus Olympic precision. And let's be honest, nobody saw this one coming. Jake Paul's been known to train with top-tier pros, sure, but Shakur Stevenson, that's like Justin Bieber suddenly linking up with J. Cole to drop a diss track on Kendrick. It's weird, it's unexpected, and it's the exact kind of chaos the internet feeds on. Within minutes, clips were flying across X, Instagram, and TikTok faster than Gervonta's left hook. Now, here's where things got spicy. People didn't just notice the spar, they analyzed it frame by frame, CSI style. Some fans swore Jake looked sharp, even landing a few clean shots. Others said Shakur was clearly carrying him, like a big brother letting his little bro swing in slow motion. The memes came instantly. One fan posted, "Jake out here trying to solve calculus while Shakur's writing poetry with his punches." Another joked, "This man's defense is so tight, Jake probably saw his whole career flash mid-round." But that's the thing about Jake Paul. You can clown him all you want, but he keeps getting back in the ring. He's like the main character in a video game who refuses to stay down after the cutscene says defeat. This spar wasn't about technique, it was about message, and the message was clear. Jake Paul is gearing up for something big. Now everyone's whispering the same question. Is he really preparing for Gervonta Davis? Because let's be real, that's not just a fight, that's a blood moon event. Tank Davis doesn't just hit people, he deletes them. Entire careers have vanished under that man's left hand. So why in the world would Jake step up to that plate? Some say it's pure ego. Others think it's genius marketing. But if you followed Jake Paul's career, you know one thing. Controversy is his cardio. Every time people count him out, he turns the narrative into pay-per-view gold. From knocking out ex-NBA stars to surviving wars with actual fighters, Jake's turned hate into headlines. And this Shakur moment, it's his latest masterclass in manipulation. But behind the flashy headlines and viral clips, there's a deeper layer, a calculated chaos. Sources close to Jake's camp claim this wasn't just practice, it was a test, a benchmark. Shakur's movement, precision, and counterpunch timing are exactly what Jake needs to prepare for someone like Tank Davis. It's like learning chess from a grandmaster before walking into a street fight. And if that wasn't enough, rumor has it Jake's been stacking his camp with a mix of legends and madmen, ex-champions, Olympic trainers, even a few MMA coaches who swear they're teaching him psychological warfare. One insider told a sports outlet, "Jake's obsessed with learning how to fight chaos with calm. He wants to be unpredictable, like Shakur's ghost style mixed with Tank's power." Meanwhile, Shakur's team, they've been tight-lipped. Not a single comment, not a single post. And that silence is driving the internet crazy. Fans are begging for Shakur to speak, to explain what went down. But he's not saying a word, and that's how you know something real happened in that ring. Because when pros stay quiet, it usually means they saw something worth thinking about. By day 2, the internet had gone into full conspiracy mode. TikTokers were doing slow-motion breakdowns, drawing red circles around every jab and feint. "Look, right here," one video said. "Jake slips the punch and counters clean. That's not luck. That's training evolution." Another creator swore that Jake's power shots had Shakur respecting him, even if only for a moment. Of course, not everyone bought it. Boxing purists were having meltdowns online. One fan wrote, "The fact that Jake's name is even being mentioned with Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis makes me want to move to Mars." Another replied, "Mars got Wi-Fi, because I ain't surviving another Jake Paul headline." But that's the brilliance of Jake Paul's empire. Love him or hate him, you can't stop watching. He's figured out the formula: confuse the haters, entertain the fans, and make everyone talk. And here's the real kicker. Just hours after the spar leaked, Jake dropped a cryptic post. "Iron sharpens iron. The storm is coming." Fans went wild. The replies, pure chaos. "You fighting Tank?" one asked. Another commented, "Bro, you're fighting for your life, not sharpening iron." Meanwhile, Shakur posted a calm story with a single emoji. No caption, no explanation, just eyes. And those two eyes launched 1,000 YouTube theories. At this point, you could practically hear the internet foaming at the mouth. Sports commentators jumped in, podcasters uploaded emergency episodes, and fans started fantasizing about a Jake versus Tank showdown, like it was the Super Bowl of boxing insanity. And that's when things took a darker turn. Some insiders claimed Gervonta Davis saw the footage and laughed. Not a regular laugh, a "you're not ready for me" kind of laugh. One reporter quoted Tank saying, "He better keep sparring celebrities because real fighters don't play." Whether he said it or not, the quote spread like wildfire. Suddenly, the story wasn't about sparring anymore. It was about pride, about whether Jake Paul could actually hang with the elite, or if this was just another chapter in his never-ending saga of trolling the fight world. By the end of the week, Jake vs Tank was trending worldwide. Even non-boxing fans were chiming in. Influencers, rappers, and streamers all had an opinion. One TikTok caption summed it up perfectly. "Jake Paul sparring Shakur Stevenson is like a high schooler doing homework with Einstein. Impressive, but what's the end game?" And that's where the hook really sinks in. Because if you know Jake, you know he's not playing checkers. He's playing 4D chess with clout. Every move is a setup for the next headline. Every leak is a marketing weapon disguised as chaos. So when people ask, why would Jake Paul spar Shakur Stevenson? The answer's simple: because he can. Because controversy prints money. Because every jab, every headline, every reaction post pushes him closer to what he really wants. Attention that even real champions can't buy. And as the gym lights dimmed that day, the cameras caught something most people missed: a smirk. Shakur's, Jake's, or maybe both. The kind of smirk that says, "You haven't seen anything yet. This wasn't a spar. This was a spark." And that flame? It's about to ignite boxing's next big circus. One where the lines between respect, rivalry, and pure showbiz blur into chaos. Welcome to the new era, where every punch tells a story, every leak is a headline, and Jake Paul just might be crazy enough to fight the storm itself. By the time the sparring footage hit day 3 of trending, the internet had lost its collective sanity. Everyone from die-hard boxing analysts to TikTok comedians had thrown themselves into the chaos. ESPN was discussing it like it was breaking world news, and Shade Room was treating it like a family reunion gone wrong. Even Drake's burner account supposedly dropped a comment saying, "Ain't no way Jake in there with Shakur. Man's built different." That's when the celebrity reactions started rolling in. And that's when things really went off the rails. Gervonta "Tank" Davis, never one to keep quiet when his name starts echoing across the internet, jumped on Instagram Live with a grin that could melt concrete. "Jake Paul sparring Shakur? That's cute," he said, laughing into the camera. "That boy better pray to the YouTube algorithm, 'cause prayer ain't saving him in the ring." The clip spread faster than wildfire at a gossip convention. Fans flooded the comments with crying emojis, fire emojis, and the occasional "he gon' die for clout." Then, out of nowhere, Floyd Mayweather chimed in during a podcast appearance. The boxing legend leaned back in his chair, smirked and said, "Jake got hot, I'll give him that. But sparring Shakur don't make you Tank ready. That's like learning to swim in a bathtub before jumping in the ocean." And just like that, the internet had its new favorite quote. Every boxing meme page went nuclear. Someone edited Jake's sparring footage with Titanic music. A Another clip showed Shakur casually dodging punches, while Jake's face was replaced with a confused SpongeBob. One meme said, "Jake Paul training for Tank Davis like it's the final boss in a video game." And honestly, that's not even far off. But beneath all the humor and trolling, there was one undeniable fact. Jake Paul had everyone talking again. He hijacked the sports world without throwing a single real fight punch that week. It was marketing mastery disguised as madness. And while everyone was busy laughing, insiders started leaking that Jake wasn't just sparring Shakur, he was doing multiple rounds, reportedly lasting longer than most expected. One trainer allegedly said, "Jake surprised people. He didn't fold. He's learning how to think under pressure." That's new. Now, whether that quote was real or manufactured by Jake's PR machine, it didn't matter. The myth was alive and the numbers were booming. The internet loves confidence, and Jake Paul sells it like luxury perfume. His Instagram feed suddenly turned cinematic. Slow-mo training shots, dramatic shadows, and captions like, "The storm doesn't scare me. I am the storm." Fans were hooked. Even the haters were glued to the spectacle. But then, cue the twist, a leaked audio clip hit Reddit, allegedly recorded at the gym right after the spar. You could hear Jake breathing heavy, someone saying, "Bro, that's the best you've moved yet," followed by laughter. Fans dissected that audio like it was a crime scene tape. Was that Shakur laughing? Was Jake bleeding? Was that Tank's name being mentioned in the background? Theories stacked higher than a Jenga tower. And right on cue, Shakur Stevenson broke his silence. Kind of. He tweeted, "Respect to anyone who steps in the ring. Ain't easy." That one line exploded into 100 YouTube thumbnails overnight. Every creator turned it into a headline. Shakur admits Jake Paul impressed him. Or Shakur throws subtle shade after spar. It was content gold. Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis wasn't letting this slide. He posted a clip of himself training, throwing bombs into the mitts with the caption, "There's levels to this." No mention of Jake, but everybody knew what he meant. The comments went ballistic. Tank sending messages in Morse code. Jake better go back to Disney Channel. Bro hitting the pads like he trying to delete YouTubers. Even celebrities outside the boxing world jumped in. 50 Cent tweeted, "Jake Paul sparring Shakur? Somebody check his insurance policy." Stephen A. Smith ranted on ESPN that the situation was a masterclass in marketing and madness. And somewhere in the chaos, Logan Paul threw his brother a compliment/jab combo. If Jake survives Shakur, he can survive anything, including my next podcast episode. By now, it wasn't just about boxing anymore. It was entertainment warfare, a battle between social media spectacle and traditional athletic hierarchy. Jake Paul wasn't just sparring, he was dismantling the gatekeeping structure of boxing, one viral clip at a time. And every traditionalist hated it. But here's the part people didn't expect. Reports began surfacing that Gervonta's camp was actually paying attention. Word got out that Tank's trainers were studying the spar footage, analyzing Jake's patterns. Not because they were threatened, but because, as one insider put it, you never underestimate someone who's crazy enough to fight you for fame. And that's what makes Jake dangerous. Not his power, not his technique, but his chaos. He doesn't fight like a boxer, he fights like a headline with gloves on. Every round is a press release. Every punch is a story, and whether he wins or loses, his name stays in your mouth. Some fans started flipping the narrative. What if Jake Paul does the impossible? What if he survives Tank? What if he actually shocks the world? The same people who were roasting him last week suddenly became his "I believed since day one" supporters. Because that's how the internet works. Outrage today, obsession tomorrow. Then came the wildest twist yet. A mysterious tweet from a verified insider account claimed that the Jake versus Tank negotiations were closer than anyone thinks. Screenshots flew around faster than a Tank uppercut. No official confirmation, but that didn't matter. The narrative was alive. By nightfall, fight prediction channels, reaction streams, and Twitter spaces were on fire. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, who you got? Was trending in multiple countries. It wasn't official, but it didn't need to be. The internet had already declared it real. And through all of this, Shakur Stevenson played the calm chess master. No drama, no interviews, just quiet confidence. Every time fans tried to drag him into the circus, he just smiled and said, "I do my talking in the ring," which only made Jake's loud chaos seem even louder. By week's end, The world wasn't talking about whether Jake Paul was a real boxer anymore. They were talking about when his next fight was. The narrative had shifted permanently because Jake Paul didn't just spar with Shakur Stevenson. He sparred with the sport's ego, and somehow he came out trending, not trembling. This was no longer a story about a YouTuber boxing a champion. It was a symbol of the digital age, where fame is the new footwork, and viral moments punch harder than gloves ever could. And as fans argued, tweeted, and memed their hearts out, one thing was certain: the chaos had only just begun. The smoke from the internet wildfire hadn't even cleared before the aftermath started rolling in. Suddenly, boxing forums looked like fan fiction hubs. Every sports show was calling it the Spar Herd. Around the world, and YouTube thumbnails were split between two camps. Jake Paul shocked everyone, and Shakur Stevenson let him breathe. But here's the thing: once the memes die down, what's left is the real-world ripple effect. And this one hit harder than a Tank Davis counter. Behind the scenes, promoters were whispering about Jake like he'd just hacked boxing's algorithm. The kid understands attention economics better than anyone, one insider told a Fight podcast. He doesn't even need a belt, he just needs a moment. And oh boy, he'd created one. In Las Vegas, Gervonta's camp was quiet. Too quiet. You know that eerie silence before a big storm hits? That's what it felt like. Tank wasn't doing interviews, wasn't clowning Jake online anymore, just pure focus. His Instagram went dark, save for one ominous post. A photo of a punching bag with the caption, "You play with the sport, you get hurt." Fans went feral. The comments exploded. Bro about to delete Jake from Wi-Fi. Tank writing obituaries and captions now. Jake better train in witness protection. But the funniest part? Jake loved it. He fed on it like fuel. Every hate comment, every death threat meme. It was content to him. His next vlog opened with a smirk and the words, "If they're talking, I'm winning." Cue cinematic slow-mo of him training under red lights, sweat dripping, Drake music playing, like he was prepping for the apocalypse. The man understood storytelling. Every clip felt like a trailer for a movie that hadn't been announced yet. Jake Paul versus the world, the final troll. Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson went back to work, brushing off the hysteria like lint. But the media wouldn't leave him alone. ESPN, TMZ, Complex, everyone wanted a soundbite. Finally, during an interview about his next fight, Shakur cracked a smile and said, "Jake's cool." He showed up. That's all I'll say. Translation: he didn't die. That one-liner became legend. Memes of Jake in a hospital bed holding a "he showed up" trophy flooded TikTok. But it also changed something deeper. People started seeing Jake differently. He wasn't just a YouTuber crashing boxing's party anymore. He was the uninvited guest who refused to leave, and now he was rearranging the furniture. Within days, sponsorship whispers started circling. Brands that once laughed him off were calling his team. Showtime execs allegedly requested preliminary numbers for a hypothetical Davis-Paul pay-per-view. Even Dana White, who once roasted Jake for clout, threw in a side-eye comment during a UFC presser. Say what you want, the kid makes noise. Noise sells. And Jake was screaming in surround sound. But behind all the glitz, you could sense the tension brewing. Gervonta Davis wasn't built to be a meme. The man's a knockout artist. A silent storm who treats every opponent like an overdue bill. To him, Jake Paul was an outsider playing with sacred fire. A circus act wearing boxing gloves. So when Tank finally broke his silence, it was short, simple, and terrifying. "If he wants it, I'll end it." Those 6 words were enough to break the internet all over again. Hashtags exploded, fight posters went viral overnight, and YouTube channels milked 10 videos per hour analyzing every syllable. But while the world drooled over the drama, Jake's inner circle was plotting. They knew the moment had arrived, the crossover between impossible and inevitable. His coach teased on Twitter, "No cap, he's ready for anyone." His brother Logan posted a cryptic line, "People called me crazy when I fought Mayweather too. Family tradition." And just like that, the internet had a new prophecy. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, 2026. But what made this saga even wilder was the aftermath's cultural ripple. Suddenly, influencers were booking boxing trainers. Streamers were staging their own sparring sessions for clout. One viral tweet said, "Jake Paul didn't just box, he made stupidity a sport." Another replied, "Yeah, but at least it's profitable stupidity." And they weren't wrong. Jake's YouTube uploads spiked, his merch line sold out overnight, and even his critics couldn't resist watching. Because love him or hate him, Jake Paul had become the face of modern sports theatre, where skill meets spectacle and chaos pays the bills. Skill meets spectacle and chaos pays the bills. Then, out of nowhere, Shakur Stevenson dropped a 10-second story. Slow motion footage of him slipping Jake's punches with the caption, "Levels." No emoji, no sound, just pure energy. It was the most polite mic drop in boxing history. Jake's response. A TikTok showing him training harder than ever, captioned, "Levels are meant to be climbed." It was petty perfection, a clapback that fueled both fan bases. And that's how this entire saga turned from a sparring rumor into a full-blown cinematic universe. Fans were scripting imaginary trailers, editing movie posters, and writing fan fiction-like fight promos. Two worlds collide, one ring, infinite chaos. By the month's end, boxing had been completely hijacked by internet culture. Sports analysts were debating algorithms, not uppercuts. Clout had officially stepped into the ring, and Jake Paul was its undefeated champion. But here's the real punchline. Whether the fight with Gervonta Davis actually happens or not, Jake's already won the first round, because he's mastered the new fight game. One where attention is the belt, headlines are the currency, and controversy is the corner coach whispering, "Keep swinging, it's working." So yeah, Jake Paul sparred with Shakur Stevenson, but in doing so, he sparred with the entire sport. Its traditions, its ego, its pride. And as much as the purists hate to admit it, he didn't get knocked out. He just got noticed. And in 2025, that's the deadliest weapon in the ring. And there you have it. The spar that broke the internet, bruised egos, and probably made Gervonta Davis laugh so hard his gloves fell off. Jake Paul didn't just throw punches, he threw the entire boxing world into a group chat and left it on red. The memes are eternal, the reactions are priceless, and the drama, oh, that's just getting started. So before you scroll away to another exclusive leak about who's beefing on Instagram Live, let's be real, you're addicted to this circus just like the rest of us. This story has everything: YouTube chaos, professional pride, viral meltdowns, and enough testosterone to power a Marvel reboot. And you know the next headline is only one post away. If you're riding this roller coaster with us, hit that like button like Jake hit the gym after getting tagged by Shakur. Drop a comment below telling us who's really winning this war, the fighters or the internet trolls. And of course, subscribe before the next scandal drops, because when it does, you'll want front row seats to the madness. Here, we don't just spill tea, we pour the entire pot, throw in some lightning, and serve it with a side of chaos. This is the digital fight game now. No ring too wild, no rumor too crazy, no ego too big to get uppercutted by the truth. So buckle up, keep your notifications on, and remember, in this universe, every punch comes with a plot twist. You've been tuned into The Punch Press, where the stories swing harder than the fighters, and the truth always lands with a knockout. Now hit that button, champ, before the next round starts.